The Rockets take on the Raptors, 6:30 Eastern tip-off on Wednesday, October 29th, 2025. Houston's -6, totals 232. Gold Club members are 4-0 with a couple of pushes in our last 6 plays on my premium page. Both squads doing a nice job on the offensive end of the floor. Rockets are scoring 124 points a game. Toronto making 51% of their attempts from the field. When it comes to the total, 7 out of these teams' last 10 head-to-head meetings did get over the number as well. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. RJ Barrett's leading the Raptors in points per game. Alperen Sengun is drilling 58% of his three-pointers for the Rockets. 2 out of Houston's last 3 games did get over the total. Toronto games are 3-1 to the over in their last 4 themselves. Jakob Poeltl's doubtful for the Raptors with back problems. Finney Smith's been scratched for Houston. When it comes to selecting a winner in this one, this game is being featured as today's NBA tier package play on my premium page. As far as making a free pick is concerned, I like the over 232. Next game, Cavaliers Celtics, 7 o'clock East. Cleveland's -4.5, totals 233 and a hook. And both squads have played tough on the defensive end of the floor. Cleveland's currently in the top 5 in the East in points per game allowed. Meanwhile, Boston on the other side, they're limiting opposing shooters to just 39% from the field. Now, total-wise, both squads saw unders in 2 out of their last 3, respectively. When it comes to the injury list, Jaylen Brown's been battling a hamstring for Boston. Keep an eye on him. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, Sam Merrill's been scratched for them. I like the under 233.5. Magic Pistons, 7 o'clock East. Orlando's -2, totals 226. The Magic's just 1-3 on the year. Terrible job shooting the deep ball. Orlando's making just 28% of their attempts from downtown. Bottom 10 in points per game. And they're facing a Detroit squad who's played tough on the defensive end of the floor themselves. They're in the top 5 in defensive field goal percentage. They're also shutting teams down late. They're in the top 10 in fewest fourth quarter points allowed. Now, 2 out of both teams' last 3 games did stay under the total. And when it comes to the injury report, LeVert, Thompson, and Sasser are day-to-day for Detroit. Mo Wagner inactive for the Magic. I like the Pistons +2, under 226. Hawks Nets, 7:30 East. Atlanta's -8.5, totals 239 and a hook. The Hawks are 1-3 on the year, failed to cover in all of their contests except for 1. Atlanta's also in the bottom 5 in defensive field goal percentage, having a tough time grabbing rebounds. As a matter of fact, the Hawks find themselves in the bottom 3 in defensive boards per game. They're facing a Brooklyn squad who's struggling a bit themselves, but they're no stranger to shooting the deep ball. The Nets are making more 3 balls a game than any other team besides 1. They're also scoring a bunch of points late. They're in the top 10 in fourth quarter scoring. Porter and Mann are drilling 40% of their long balls, respectively. Sharp, Wilson, Demeen, and Liddell well over 40% of their 3 balls combined. Now, injury-wise, Zaire Williams is questionable with back problems. Keep an eye on him. Meanwhile, for the Hawks, Jalen Johnson's been battling an ankle injury. Keep an eye on him as well. When it comes to the number, Brooklyn with overs in 3 out of their last 4. Hawks with overs against the likes of Chicago and Toronto. I like the Nets +8.5, over 239 and a hook. Kings Bulls, 8 o'clock East. Chicago's -4.5, totals 237 and a hook. Chicago's 3-0 on the year. Sacramento just 1-3. The Kings have definitely struggled underneath the basket. Dead last in offensive boards per game. They're also the worst free throw shooting team in the NBA. They're making just 64% of their attempts from the stripe. And they're facing a Chicago squad who's played a physical brand of defense. They've been tough against the deep ball. The Bulls are limiting opposing teams to just 26% shooting from 3-land. That's actually lowest in the NBA at the moment. And no real surprise here, folks. The Bulls are in the top 5 in fewest points allowed. White and Collins still out for the Bulls. Clifford out for the Kings. 2 out of both teams' last 3 contests fell under the total, respectively. I like the Bulls minus 4.5, under 237 and a hook. Pacers, Mavericks, 8:30 Eastern start. Dallas is minus 7.5, totals 229. The Mavs are 1-3 on the year. Terrible job getting to the basket. As a matter of fact, the Mavericks are averaging fewer points a game than any other team in the association. They're facing an Indy squad who's been tough against the deep ball themselves, limiting opposing shooters to just 32% from long range. No real surprise, Indy's giving up just 11 made three-pointers per contest. Nembhard, Furphy, Mathurin, and Toppin still out for Indy. Williams, I don't know why it does this. Williams, Lively, Exum, and Davis questionable for Dallas. Daniel Gafford's doubtful. 2 out of both teams' last 3 games fell under the total, respectively. I like the Pacers plus 7.5. Under 229. Pelicans, Nuggets, 9 o'clock East. Denver's 12.5, totals 235 and a hook. The Nuggets are 2-1 on the year. New Orleans 0-3. The Pels are allowing over 123 points a game. Terrible underneath the boards. The Pelicans are grabbing fewer defensive rebounds a game than any other roster besides one. And they're taking on a Denver squad who's had little issues on the offensive end of the floor. They're averaging over 130 points a game, 52% shooting from the field. Of course, when it comes to the stripe, the Nuggets are making a league best 90% of their foul shots. Aaron Gordon's yet to miss a free throw this year, 25 points a game for him. Jamal Murray's averaging 30 points a game himself, 42% from long range. Cam Johnson's questionable for Denver. Zion Williamson day-to-day for New Orleans. Pels with overs in 2 out of their last 3. Denver with overs in all 3 of their contests. I like the Nuggets minus 12.5, over 235 and a hook. Trailblazers, Jazz, 9 o'clock East. Portland's minus 3, totals 233.5. Portland's 2-2 on the year. Utah's 2-1. Jazz are scoring 124 points a game. Best offensive rebounding team in the league. Walker Kessler with double-digit boards a game, 85% shooting from the field. And Lauri Markkanen's drilling 42% of his 3 balls, 34 points a night as well. They're facing a Portland squad who's definitely struggled guarding the deep ball. Their opponents are making 40% of their 3 balls against them. When it comes to the injury list, Williams is out for the Blazers. Thibault is questionable. Meanwhile, for Utah, Nurkic is questionable for the Jazz. Collier and Niang are out. Both teams with overs in 2 out of their last 3, respectively. I like the Jazz plus 3, over 233.5. Lakers, Timberwolves, 9:30 East. Minnesota's minus 6.5, totals 233 and a hook. Both squads are 2-2 on the year, having some issues on the offensive end of the floor. Minnesota's currently a bottom 10 point producing team. Lakers are making just 30% of their 3-pointers. Smart and Hayes are questionable for the Lakers. Doncic and Kleber still out. Meanwhile, for the T-Wolves, Jalen Clark is questionable for them. Anthony Edwards out for a few weeks with a hammy. Now, total-wise, 7 out of these teams' last 10 head-to-head meetings did stay under the number. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of unders to go around. I like the under 233.5. With that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. Grizzlies, Suns, 10 o'clock East. Memphis is minus 1, totals 239. The Grizzlies are 2-2 on the year. Phoenix just 1-3. The Suns are allowing more points a game than any other team besides one. Bottom 10 in defensive boards. And they're facing a Memphis squad who's definitely looked good on the offensive end of the floor. They're a top 10 point producing team, 85% shooting from the foul line. John Morant's averaging 22 points per contest. Cedric Coward's knocking down 64% of his attempts from 3-land. Now, injury-wise, Williams and Aldama are questionable for the Grizzlies. Jalen Green's day-to-day for the Suns. Dylan Brooks has also been scratched. Phoenix Games went 4-0 to the over this year. Memphis with overs in all of their contests except one. I like the Grizzlies -1, over 239. And with that, folks, now it's time for our quick pick recap. I like the over 232, Houston-Toronto, under 233.5, Cleveland-Boston. We're 4-0 with a couple of pushes in our last 6 Gold Club tier membership plays. Pistons +2, under 226, Nets +8.5, over 239 and a hook. Chicago Bulls -4.5, under 237.5. Pacers +7.5, under 229. Nuggets -12.5, over 235 and a hook. Jazz +3, over 233.5. Give me the under 233.5. Lakers T-Wolves. Give me the Grizzlies -1, over 239. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. And if you do end up getting a membership here today on my premium site, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame, absolutely free. Going to be included with your membership. Of course, that's why I always tell folks that Gold Club package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. Gives you access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. But most importantly, folks, gotta thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium page.